Hi, welcome back to Catawba Beach Volleyball Beyond the Sand podcast. Today, I'm Peyton. This is
I'm Lauren Bodell. I'm a senior from Utah on the beach volleyball team. I'm Peyton's partner, and I play the blocker.
and I'm a defender. And today we have Miss Graham with us. And if you want to introduce yourself real fast.
Well, hey, I'm Shari Graham. I'm a 1983 graduate of Catawba College, which seems like ages ago, which it is. Love Catawba, been here. We have a legacy here at Catawba family. Daughter played sports, my husband did. So we've been part of Catawba family for a very long time.
Awesome. Yes. Well, we're excited to have you with us. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Ma'am. All right. First question. What are some of your favorite memories from your time at Catawba?
Oh my gosh. Well, some of them probably can't share with y'all. Because a lot of things were different when I was here. But I think what I loved about Catawba from the minute I stepped on campus was it's so different. I mean, it was immediately a family orientated kind of environment. I came from the north. I had 3 Southern roommates. So some of my favorite things were that I learned to speak Southern, so to speak.
Yeah.
Words were different. I didn't know what a drop chord was. I didn't know what a commode was. So lots of those things made friends instantly. I think what I loved too was that my dorm, which is now Standback, was called North, and it was so diverse. We had athletes, we had theater majors, we had music majors. So you got to be exposed to so many different people on so many different levels and different areas of study, but everybody got along really great.
Nice.
Yeah, I experienced a similar thing. I've been in Catawba for all 4 years, and my favorite part about Catawba is the people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at home I would never ever say y'all, and now
Right.
I say it. I text it. I go home. I remember my first, I went home for Christmas break my freshman year, and everybody's like, "Why are you saying y'all?" I'm like, I can't not.
Same thing here. I mean, up north, I mean, you get the reputation of being a Yankee and those kind of things. But I wasn't used to people saying, hey, like walking down the street. I was
Right.
like, who are you talking to? You know, and they were talking to me and saying y'all and those kind of things. So, and my parents are Canadian. So for me to go home and say y'all, I mean, that was just a whole different language to them and those kind of things like drinking sweet tea. You didn't do that up north
Right.
all year round, but they'd look at you like you were crazy. If you wanted tea, it was hot. You got sweet tea in the summer, but you didn't get it all year round. So yeah, I think just my roommates. I had a ballerina theater major, I had a biology major, and a music major. And then I came down and I was trying to play field hockey, and I was a theater major. So talk about being a yin and a yang of a
Right.
of a major. I was studying theater, but also wanted to play very athletic and played sports all my whole life in high school.
Yeah.
So loved that part of it, and so I kind of fit into both worlds, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. So how would you say that your experience as a student shaped your perspective on like student life and like athletics and balancing both?
I think what I loved about it was that and I go back to the college environment. What I think so special about Catawba, I could have gone. I could have gone to home and stayed home in Pennsylvania, Penn State. I mean, not that I would have gotten, but I mean, big schools. We were known for big schools in Pennsylvania. And I chose not to. My guidance counselor talked to me about, she was a Catawba graduate, talk about a small world. And she said, Shari, I think this is a great fit for you because I love playing field hockey. I played it my whole life, played lacrosse and basketball. And she said, you know, I think the environment, you know, do you want to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? And she said, I think Catawba is a really good fit for you. Now, back in the day, you guys have to remember, we didn't have, you know, YouTube and Instagram and pictures of campus and those kind of things. I had a brochure, and that's what you looked at, and that's what you got, and you still had to type your, you know, application and mail it in like with old fashioned. You didn't send it in. You didn't have, you know, online interviews. So it's very, very different. When I got accepted into Catawba, I literally got a letter. I never came down here because my parents could not afford for me to come. We didn't have visits or any of
Right.
those things. So literally when I got accepted that summer, when I had to come down here, was the first day I stepped foot on campus. And my parents and I drove all night from Pennsylvania, got out, they unloaded me, put my stuff in the dorm, and turned around and said, see you, bye. Good luck, you know. And oh my gosh, I was terribly homesick. I'd never been away from home when I grew up. I was the baby of the family, 3 older brothers. And what I found at Catawba was that the smallness, the intimacy of the classrooms and your friends was so unique and so wonderful that I don't know anywhere else. Well, I'm sure there's other small schools, but the one I had here was that my professors knew me by name.
Yeah.
I wasn't a social security number. I wasn't, seat number 27A. I was Shari.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that. And your professors knew that. And some of the professors that I had are still hanging around.
Mhm.
Dr. Carl Hales was my advisor. And so he used to come read Christmas stories to us. So, I mean, it was just so different. I mean, and it's such a, but I love the fact that I don't think that's changed much.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that it stands out to me that all these years later, I still have that same experience. I am the oldest child, moved 30 hours away from home, and was scared out of my mind my freshman year, was really homesick, but I was able to lean on my team and my friends that I made and my professors. Hey, I need help with this assignment, and they're more than happy to help me. And it really is a family away from home. And like, it's not just a fluke, the 4 years or how many years you were here. It's every year. It's just the culture of Catawba, which is my favorite part about it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, being a freshman here, like I'm experiencing it all right now, and being in my second semester, looking back on my first, I can definitely see how like it's different. Like if I were to go somewhere bigger, like to a bigger school here in North Carolina, I definitely wouldn't have gotten the same experiences. I wouldn't build the same connections with my professors and my other peers here. So it's something I'm definitely like enjoying in the moment, in the present.
Well, and I think, and a lot of people probably aren't fans of this statement, but I stand by it. I have friends that have went to Carolina, Duke, University of South Carolina, all those big schools, James Madison. I mean, I had lots of friends that stayed at home and went to school around the Philadelphia area, and then others that came down here, and I know their children have gone to other big schools, which is cool if that's what you want. But what I've told people about Catawba is we get taught out of the same biology 101 book that you do at Carolina, at Duke, Chapel Hill, and that's not an insult.
No.
But I think people don't realize that we still have the most wonderful professors, the same quality of education, the same level of expectations.
Right.
It's just more intimate. It's more family. It's more about the student. And like I said, you're not a number. You're not a social security. You're not a seat person in a chair. You're a student.
And I mean, our nursing program is first in the state. And as an education major, I don't know if people know this, there's this big portfolio you have to do your senior year while you're doing student teaching, and it's pretty rigorous. There's lots of steps. It takes a long time. And the professors are so good. They're so accessible. Just, hey, I need help with this immediately. Like I could text my professor and she'll answer me, and it's 6 o'clock at night. I mean, there's not very many schools in the country that are going to do that. Or, oh, you need help with this last minute? All right, run down. My professor worked at Brickhead, which is by Catawba, but she's like, run down, get these math manipulatives, and we'll teach. When you go teach your lesson, we'll talk about it the next day. It just so much more, like you said, intimate and just a more quality. I feel like you do so much teaching yourself at a big school, and here it's like you're really getting taught.
Well, I think the professors, what I see as you guys as students and what I hear is that they want you to succeed.
Yeah.
They are fully engaged in your education. Because not only is that a reflection of you and what you want to succeed, but they want you to.
Right.
And you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I think you get it here.
No, I
I haven't been
agree.
in the classroom in a long time, but I think you do. It's it's what I see from y'all and the feedback we get when we're just at games or at events or things like that. About it's great to see you interact with your coaches and your professors that way, and say Haiti at a football game, and it may be your biology teacher or your English language arts or business, but they all know you, and they're not afraid to let people know they know you.
Yeah.
Put their arm around you and say, hey, how's it going today, kind of thing. It's a pretty great place.
Yeah,
sure.
No, I agree. So in your own opinion, what role do you think the community plays in the success of a smaller D2 program like beach volleyball or any athletic program here at Catawba?
I think the great thing, again, about Catawba is the uniqueness of Salisbury. It's an incredibly philanthropic city. Bill and I have been very fortunate to be very blessed to be able to do and give back to our community, and as many others have, hundreds of people in our community. And what I think is that Catawba walks the walk and talks the talk. If we're going to engage and make beach volleyball a program, then we're going to ensure that it's successful, whatever it takes. If it's money or, new sand or whatever, uniforms or
Mm-hmm.
travel or experiences for you all to have. You can't have a program and then not fully be invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to say, oh, let's, have, water polo. Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't provide you, the student athlete, with the tools to be successful, then it's going to fall flat.
Right.
And I think when we found out about beach volleyball, I mean, it was I thought it was great. I mean, I thought this is the coolest thing ever. Why not? And why not do that?
Yeah.
Well, there are the students that play beach volleyball. My husband's, this is funny sidebar, but my husband's wish, he sits there and watches beach volleyball all the time. And he's a pretty great lawyer, to brag on him a little bit, but he sits there and does the flag like he's going to, and when he retires, I swear that's what he wants to do, is he's going to sit there and, wave the napkin in and out. And I said, you do that, honey. You're really good at it. And when he watches the Olympics and all that kind of thing. But I think it's just it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
And it also attracts, other, female athletes that can say, hey, I could do that.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to play team volleyball with, 6, 8, 10, 20 girls on a team, but beach volleyball is the two of you. It's like doubles in tennis. I play tennis, and you depend on each other.
Right.
And I think what we do is we hope that when we announce a program that you guys are engaged in, that we give you every tool necessary to be a success. Now, how that success comes through practice and great
Right.
coaches and all that, we certainly have to provide those to you too. But it gives you the opportunity to grow and prove yourselves and say, this was worth it. And that's the most important thing to me, is that you walk away saying, I had a great experience. This was all worth it. The blood, sweat, and the tears was all worth it. And, I'm a better person for it.
And I think just thinking about you, before I played beach volleyball, I played indoor volleyball at Catawba. And I remember we were getting ready to go, and I stay in touch with a lot of the donors. I am pretty close with JD's. And he texts me, hey, we got something for y'all before the game. And I walk out. These people had assembled a gift bag with like liquid IV and Propel and all this candy and all this stuff. And they're like, here, go win. And then we won.
And we won.
Yeah. It was kind of like a rough season. So when we won, we were like, well, y'all got to do it for every game now.
They were the good luck bags.
And
right?
then the next game rolled around and they're like, here's another one. And we were like, okay.
No pressure.
Yeah.
But
And that's the kind of support you get, I feel like, at a smaller school is, yes, they'll help you financially. Yes, they'll help you cheering at your games, all those things. But it's when they really care about the program and they do give you support in all the other realms, like, they're so bought in, and like that meant so much to us, because it was towards the end of the season, and it was like, oh, we got to go another away game. This is gonna be so hard, whatever. And they're like, here, and yeah, we got to eat our candy on the way down.
Well, and we put those bags together. So I was telling Coach, I said, it's the little things.
It is.
And I always I raised my children, and I tell my friends, they say, Shari, why do you do fundraisers? Why do you, do the parade? Why do you do all these things? And I said, it's the stuff you don't have to do.
Yeah.
That is the most fun and gives you the most joy. It gives you the most reward. And I don't look for reward or applause, but to see your face and to say, oh my gosh, it was just candy. But the girls knew that we were behind them.
Yeah.
100%. And if it's, 6 Propels in a bag and a Hershey bar, if that's what it takes to let you know that we love you, we care about you, we want you to succeed, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a win-win. So
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it's a big part of like what helps us as a team. Like, I personally enjoy that they don't care about you just as like an athlete, and they're investing their not only money but time into you, but they care about you as a person. Like, I was just recently injured, and I had a couple donors walk up to me. They genuinely wanted to know how I was. Like, they wanted to have a conversation with me, and I think that's something that you don't get a lot of times at other places.
Well, and I think that too goes back to, we all know you by name.
Yeah.
I don't know any other sports that, like I said, a big school, I go back to comparing us to a big school, but how many donors you guys can probably, like the D's and, Bill and I and people that, and Haney and Bill Hall and Setz and all those people that are loyal and come to every game and, watch every game, and all these great families. They know you by name.
And you can always count on them.
Right. And we're going to be there, rain or shine. That kind of thing. And that's okay. And that's what people do is, like I said, we walk the walk and talk the talk. And We're not just going to be there when you're winning. We're going to be there when you're
Right.
losing. And if you are, then we just pick you up and say, come on, you know, shake it off. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so.
I think that's something that's really great about you. So you and your husband Bill have been very strong supporters throughout your time with Catawba. So what inspired y'all to start helping out or supporting the athletic programs here?
Well, I think of course, we're a little biased, a lot biased, I guess. My daughter was a tennis player here. My husband played tennis here. I ran the intramurals program, which I don't know if you all still, I guess you still do that.
Yeah.
So when I ended up not playing hockey and those kind of things, I got the opportunity to run intramurals. And so we had flag football, we had softball, basketball, volleyball. And I've always loved athletes and athletics. And I just think, it's just a great joy to be able to see your, you know, excitement about having, you know, new sand on the, and it's just it's the little things, but we're so blessed here at Catawba, to be able to do things for students and do special programs and give you what you need. You know, I think there's the mindset is we'll move heaven and earth for you, because we have such a love for the students first. And then because you're an athlete, it's just a bonus to me. I mean, I think that we want you to succeed. We want you to be comfortable. We want families to know that when they drop their child off here, they're safe and we're here for them. If you lose power and you need to come over, you know, you know, that kind of thing. And that's what I think, again, goes back to just the unique, wonderful atmosphere that's here. And Bill and I just, you know, we give to lots of stuff here at Catawba. But I think, you know, Bill and I are, like I said, I was an athlete my whole life, so I'm a little biased about sports and women's sports, but I love all sports, and I always have. I grew up, you know, watching Philadelphia Flyers and, you know, baseball and the Phillies and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I was quite the tomboy. So I would try anything, any sport at least once. And even tried beach volleyball when we played last year. I think we weren't too bad. But yeah, I think it's just the ability, you know, when you're blessed as much as Bill and I have been, it's just the right thing to do. And we try and set an example for our children, to remember that they're blessed, and that, you know, that old expression, you know, to whom much is given, much is expected. And so Bill and I are just so grateful to be able to do it. And it makes us proud. And we don't care about our name on a building or, you know, on a brochure or anything. We don't do it for that. We do it because we see the smile on your face. We see the success in your careers and your graduation rates and your grades. And, you know, you're going off to good graduate school. And, you know, at the end of the day, what we do is just a little part of it. But if that makes it easier for you to have success afterwards,
Right.
And then that's why we do it.
Hey, for the record, I live in the Graham dorm.
There you go.
So kind of in that same vein of just seeing all the students succeed, beach volleyball is a new sport at many colleges, including Catawba. What value do you see in adding a non-traditional sport like beach volleyball for student athletes?
Gosh, I think with like beach volleyball, I think to me, it just opened up more doors.
Right.
You know, everybody knows about volleyball, and that's great, and it's a tremendous sport, and I love watching the guys and the girls. It's incredible. But, you know, when you see something, again, on TV, you go, that's pretty cool. But to bring something so different, what you expect in California or, you know, Florida, those kind of things, and then we have the opportunity as a smaller school to bring something so unique to our campus, that is fun and engaging and people enjoy. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
It's a no-brainer. And to give you an opportunity, you know, like you said, you played indoor volleyball, and then to give you the opportunity to go, wait a minute, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit.
Right.
I mean, how many schools might let you do that?
Right.
Probably none.
Well, not a lot of schools have both.
Right. Right. And so to open up the opportunities, and for, you know, all female athletes and girls who are said, God, you know, maybe I don't want to do that, but that's pretty cool. And for you all to give that opportunity to a student who may not make it at a D1 or something like that, you know, with, you know, the competition may be a little bit different, but to give you all the opportunity to do something here that makes a real statement. Is a worthwhile investment, I think, and what we can do to make it a success is on us. You know, we should promise you nothing less than success and make the program grow.
I would say a lot of people the majority of the time they watch beach volleyball is in the Olympics. And obviously,
I agree. Yeah.
we don't really play like Olympians because they're
I don't
amazing.
know. I think
I
y'all,
like
well, I don't know. I've seen y'all play. You're pretty impressive.
But it's good for people. Like, there's lots of times, especially when it's warmer, where we'll kind of hang out late on the courts with just football players, basketball players, soccer. Everybody's just out there. And I think volleyball is unique in the sense of you can play it more lifelong.
Yeah.
Football you can't play when you're 80, but you can kind of play volleyball when you're older.
I will not be on the court when I'm 80. I'm lucky I'm still playing tennis at 66. So.
But you can do grass tournaments with your friends or like when we're done being partners, maybe, hey, I'm going to fly out to North Carolina. Let's play in a tournament this weekend. Like there's always opportunities. And I feel like having that new program, and we try to have opportunities for other people to play, like students to come do tournaments. It opens up doors for more opportunities for beach volleyball to grow.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's true too, because Bill and I, you probably have seen us lots of times during the early evening. We'll drive through on the golf cart with the dogs.
Yeah.
And we love that. We love coming on campus and seeing the buzz of activity, whether it's kids kicking a soccer ball or guys playing on the basketball court outside. And I will say about the beach volleyball, exactly what you're saying is that, you know, you might see you guys there, but you might see 6 or 8 students who are, you know, theater majors or music majors or science majors, and they're all playing beach volleyball, and the music's going, and I think that's what is also pretty great about you guys is that you do engage other students to come on the court, come hang out with us, you know. And Coach Sue's, I think, and is really great about saying, we want people on the courts watching. We don't want you standing up there on the hills. Come on down and stick your feet in the sand.
Yeah.
And so we do. And so we're kind of used to, and come down and, you know, after we win, let's all get a group picture. Everybody that cheered us on. It's a really fun, festive environment too, which is a little different than what we've had before. You know, not everybody rushes the court when the basketball wins, but I think, you know, people do hang out and just that fun, easygoing environment for beach volleyball is a new thing, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree completely. So you and your husband have both had extremely successful careers, and I would say, what do you think separates that successful mindset and like helped you get to where you are now?
Well, a couple things. When Bill and I met here, when we were much younger, but we both came from what I call pretty humble beginnings. Bill worked in the cotton mill at Cannon Mills and blew cotton, which, if you understand that, so he worked double shifts, and he took a leaf blower and blew cotton out of the vents. That was his job, which doesn't sound very pleasant. No air conditioning, and 100 degrees in the summer in North Carolina is not very pleasant. And so, he came from really core, hardworking, and he put himself through college and put himself through law school. And then when we met, I also came from a very blue collar family. Friends they've heard this story before, but I mean, my house was so cold sometimes in the winter, I would sleep on the bathroom floor because that was where the radiant heat, we had oil heat back in those days. And so I had to sleep on the bathroom floor because our house was so cold. And I think my parents were really hard workers, and Bill's parents, grandparents raised him. And I think we just both were very fortunate to have those values instilled in us. And so as we built our careers and things like that, we were so grateful for all the successes we had. I mean, he's an incredibly hard worker. I don't think he'll ever retire. I think they'll have to pull him out of the law firm, which is fine. I don't think he'd be bored. And I don't work. I don't get paid. Let me put it that way. But what I do is I love, it's such a privilege to me to be asked to do a fundraiser for somebody, that people would entrust myself and my partner, Hen Henderlight, who we do a lot of events together, that entrust us with such a personal thing. And it could be a wedding, which is very personal, to a fundraiser where we're trying to raise, hundreds of thousands of dollars for something that we both believe in. I guess it's just, it just was what we've taught our children too, is that you need to be humble and kind and be appreciative of what you have and give back, and it'll come back to you tenfold.
Yeah.
So I talked about that I live in Graham. Very nice. But with a residence hall bearing your name and having many other roots in Catawba, what does legacy mean to you personally? And has your definition of legacy changed over the years?
Wow. Well, first of all, I never thought I'd be referred to as a legacy because of like I had bills in my background. It just wasn't something I go, ooh, I'm going to be able to put my hands in the, like the Roman Chinese theater and put my footprint and handprints.
That's
in
what we need to do in front of the
cement.
center,
There you
the
go.
stars.
There you go. You can have a little star thing. I just never thought of myself that way. And I still to this day don't, Bill and I do not think of us that way. We never think, what are we going to get out of it?
Right.
It's just not part of our repertoire of things we think about. When people say, would you sponsor this? We do it because we love it or we believe in it and not because of what we'll get out of it. So I don't think of myself as a legacy. It makes us lots of times we would rather be silent about what we do and we don't seek the recognition. Like I said, I don't care if my name's in a 12 font on the back of a program. I don't care. I don't, look at that, I just don't. That's not who I am. Still shop at Walmart, still go to Target, that's who I am. If I see a pair of sneakers at Old Navy, I'm going to go get them, because they're cool.
Yeah.
$9.99. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
So we just don't think that way. Is it an honor? Absolutely. Have we been given lovely accolades? Sure. And they're lovely. But again, we just don't do it for that.
Right.
We just do it because it's the right thing to do, and that's who we are.
Cool.
Yeah.
So from directing youth theater to fundraising for breast cancer awareness to playing competitive tennis, how do you stay energized and passionate across such different roles?
Well, I'm a little competitive. My tennis partners and team will tell you that. I just have always, I guess the tomboy in me, I just like to win, no matter what it is. I'd love to play sports. I still love to play tennis. Games still okay, I think a little bit. But I think I've been so blessed again that it's just not in my wildest dreams that I think, I'd be able to own 2 Princess Diana dresses and be able to show them around the world and raise money for breast cancer. I still have to go, what? When did that happen? I mean, I do. And we're fortunate. We live in a beautiful neighborhood and a beautiful home. And I pull up to the driveway every day probably, and people go, yeah. And I go, no, really, I do. I pinch myself, and I go, really? And I've lived there for over 30 years now, and so it's hard for me to still to make myself something I'm not, or that I'm not. I never will be comfortable being that. That lady, like when you said Mrs. Graham, you can call me Shari. Really. It's Mrs. Graham was my mother-in-law, I'm not that person. I don't feel comfortable being that person. I love just being me. And when it's something that I'm passionate about or that somebody again is privileged, I go back to, it's a privilege for somebody to ask you to be that person or to help them. It's a no-brainer to me, and I think I should help them. Why wouldn't I? And like my daughter will tell you, no's not in my vocabulary. It's like, or can't. I'll find a way to figure it out. Coach Gant one time gave Hen and I a really great compliment. It was during COVID, and we were trying to still do first pitch, and we were trying to figure out a way to do that. And he said, with Hen and Shari, there's no plan B. There's always another plan A. Yeah. And so that's kind of the way I operate, and that's the way we operate about things. We'll figure it out. We'll find an answer. There's got to be a way that if it's for the good of a bunch of people, or we can make it right, then that's what we do.
Yeah, this kind of goes along with that. But longevity in athletics isn't something that everyone achieves. I think I'm a senior, and I feel like I'm old, and we make old jokes all the time at practice.
I feel really sorry for you.
But what has allowed you to continue competing and loving the game?
Oh gosh, it's the competition. I still love sports, and I figure I'm still going to play. I love getting outside, love playing sport. If I could still go down there and help play lacrosse with the girls, I'd probably be crazy enough to pick up a stick or shoot basketball or something. I wasn't very great at basketball. I was like the 7th man or 8th man, so I rode the pine a lot. But it was okay. But I was still part of a team. Right. Still part of, and I think that's part of it, is being something bigger than yourself. And I know that's kind of cliche phrase, but I just love playing. I love being outside. I love the camaraderie, having a partner. I mean, I had the same tennis partner for almost 15 years before she hurt her ankle, and so to break in a new partner, or somebody break me in, was tough. Right. But I mean, I love my team. I love the opportunity to play and be outside, and and win. And like I said, I'm pretty competitive still, try to be. I just love the atmosphere of an athletic event. So it's
So how has your relationship with competition evolved over the years?
well, my teammates will tell you it hasn't evolved, and it probably should. I should be a little bit better. I'm the worst, as they would say, I have the worst water cooler, probably manners of a tennis player. I don't know that it has evolved, and maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I don't take it
You're
quite
just
as
true to yourself.
I am, and I love to win. I don't chat it up at the water cooler with the other team, and then my teammate will laugh. And if they're hearing this, they'll say, "That's right, that's Shari." I don't want to know what book you're reading at book club. I don't care what you put in the crock pot. I say this a lot.
Yeah.
I just want to win for my team, and then we'll chat.
Yeah.
After it's over, we'll talk about anything you want to. But when I'm business on the court, and probably my friends all say that this is nothing that anybody doesn't know. I like to win. I like the feeling of winning. I don't take losing very well. But especially if I play bad, which happens occasionally a lot. But I mean, and don't like injuries.
Right.
I'll fight through them. I still do. I mean, if I had a full tear of a hamstring about 6-8 years ago on a tennis court. Yeah, and I will say, give credit to Bob Casmus. I came down and trained with the football team. I mean, how many colleges let you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, Bob, they took me to the emergency room. Looked at it and he says, "Yeah, this is bad." And I literally that afternoon was in the training room down here with Bob Casmus when he was here, and said, he put me up on a table and he said, "Okay, guys, all the athletic trainers and stuff like that." He said, "You want to see a textbook tear of a hamstring? There it is." And my leg was, oh my God, it looked like someone took a baseball bat to it.
Oh.
But like the very next day, and I credit him for getting me back on the court. He said, "I came down there and I started training with the football team." And so I was jumping over ropes and, going through zigzags and doing weight lifts and stuff like that. And I said, Bob would even say, "Look, that 50-year-old woman is doing stuff, guys. What are you doing?
Stop complaining.
Yeah, stop complaining. She's old enough to be your mother, In fact, she could be your mother. So, I think I just love sports. I've always loved sports. And so it's just innately bred in me to be competitive and to win and I don't, I stand up and yell for y'all if I was playing, because it's just, it's just a wonderful experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can give one piece of advice to current student leaders as they experience this period of expansion and change, what would it be?
Gosh, I think just enjoy it. Oh my gosh, it goes by in a blink.
It sure does.
It does. And you'll make lifelong friends here. And that's, again, what's so unique about Catawba. I still have friends that come back at homecoming that I get to see, and that's probably the only time I see them. Sometimes someone don't live that far away, but you don't skip a beat with them.
Right.
And I think the opportunities that Catawba gives you are so broad in such a unique and small environment, but the sky's the limit, and nobody tells you no here. I mean, they let you be you. If you want to double major and do this and do that, they find a way to let it happen. Yeah. And I think that's so great. And, I was a theater major and a political science minor. I mean, what kind of weirdo combination is that? So I think it's just take advantage of every single opportunity and don't be afraid to get outside your box. And I've always told my children, I said, cast your net widely. Just cast your net as wide as you can do it. I said, because it doesn't cost you anything to ask.
Right.
It doesn't cost you anything to investigate. And the worst they're going to say is no, but that doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to say yes. So I've that's kind of been my philosophy with our children. Cast it as wide as you can throw it, and and help. And there are other people there that are going to help you, get there, especially here, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Speaking of change, so there's a lot of stuff going on in Catawba right now, a lot of great things happening in the near future. So with that change, what excites you the most about the future of beach volleyball and women's athletics in general?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think I just love that the school you can really start to, I've always been a show me person.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, there's always been a lot of talk about things that we wanted to do. Let's do this to baseball. Let's do this to softball. Let's do this to beach volleyball or tennis.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that I said, stop talking about it. let's do it. What are we waiting for? I mean, and so it was kind of like I had a passion about tennis last year.
Right.
And it was the simple things, you know, a new roof on the tennis hut to make it look decent, new bathrooms. And with beach volleyball, it's the same thing. Once we get the smokestack going, I just see that environment as the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Hang out.
Well, it's right in the middle.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it'll be like the hub of, you know, put the lights. I can see, you know, having music and people
Yeah.
out on the smokestack area and just, you know, people looking out of that new dorm and being able to look out your window and watching. And it's kind of like a football stadium or downtown
Yeah.
Charlotte where you can look into the stadiums. I mean, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to become even bigger. Like people are going to go, oh my God, it's beach volleyball Friday night. And all of campus will be
Yeah.
there. And I think we've got that opportunity now. And I think the fact that there are tangible things on campus that students now see,
Yeah.
because I hate giving a blind promise, you know,
Yeah.
to anyone that says, oh, we're going to do, okay, that's great. And then 3 years down the road, it still hasn't happened. But I think this year, if anything, I give credit, you know, to our board and to President Nelson and development and all these people that raise you know, all this money and have all these wonderful relationships and athletics, of course, too, and Michelle and her team. But everybody's bought into it.
Yeah.
There's no blowback from it. And I think you're starting to see not only dorms, but athletics. So it's a shared distribution of really good investments. And all of it is for the good of the student. There's not one program or one thing to me that is not going to benefit any student, really. I mean, like the smokestack, you don't have to be an athlete to appreciate being able to stand up there and have a cold beverage of your choice, whatever that might be, if you're allowed. We were, when I was here, I was 18, you were allowed to do that kind of thing.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper. There you go. But I mean, any student can go there and watch beach volleyball, you know, whatever you are, theater, like I said, drama, music, science, nursing, anything.
Right.
And I also think that we've got coaches that have been hired that are really engaging, like Coach Sue's. I love that she had us all come out there and play volleyball like fools, you know. But I mean, that was really great. I mean, it was so much fun. And I know they do a student, you know, faculty basketball game. There seems to be more of that now. And I said, I think that just keeps making us stronger and more a unique place to be. So I just see it, you know, taking off like crazy.
No, yeah.
And it could be every sport could do that. There's no reason football couldn't have a flag football game or softball have a girls, you know, faculty staff. I'd play. I don't know how great I'd be. But I mean, the opportunities are endless. And that's what's so cool about Catawba being small. You can do that.
You can.
Any sport.
Well, and like my favorite thing about Catawba is you can't walk to class without seeing somebody you know,
Right.
or like 30 people you know.
Right.
And
Exactly.
like we were playing Sunday night on the courts, and some of the people I know on the football team were walking by. I'm like, come play. And then he texts later. He's like, when are y'all playing again?
So now it's like
I'll let you know.
it's a week thing we do
When it's
now.
not 50 degrees at night, but
Exactly.
we'll play and I'll text you. And then it's fun and everybody's out there. And not only is that helping the beach program, because they're like, oh, this is actually hard when we go watch them.
Right. That's not it. Yeah.
Know that they're
and
doing
then
a
you
good
see
job.
them, and then you see them come. I mean, the reciprocal is then they say, hey, man, let's go watch them play in a match. They've got a match. And I think technology, of course, helps a ton with Instagram. And like I said, that's way above my pay grade. But I mean, that you can get the word out.
Right.
And people do want to come. I mean, the boys volleyball team comes down and supports you. And, you know, the girls softball comes and watches baseball. And I mean, you can see that at Catawba, which again is so incredibly, I think is unique. I didn't go to a big school. Don't know any. My high school probably had more people than Catawba did when I was here. But I mean, you just didn't see that. And you see it here with every sport. You know, the tennis team watches the tennis team. Soccer watches soccer. I mean, I don't know where else you see that.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
there's
it's,
so much sport overlap as well. Like
right.
everybody goes to football.
Right.
But I mean, we're sitting front row at the men's volleyball games,
Right.
yelling and heckling, and 2 rows
Exactly.
behind us is baseball, and a row behind them
Right.
soccer. It's just like there's this thing. I don't know if a lot of people know this, especially people who are athletes here. But there's this thing called the Culture Cup. They started it last year, and when you go to an event, you scan, and it kind of gives you points based off. Like tennis would give you more points than football. Anyways, beach volleyball team won it last year, so we make a very big deal. Everyone has to scan. If you come, you have to scan, and it's like, yeah, it's competitive because obviously we're
Sure.
gonna be
But it's a
competitive.
fun competitive.
But
Yeah.
it's like, even if there wasn't a thing to scan, we'd probably still go.
right.
And
Yeah.
we'd still go and we would still heckle and be loud and annoying.
Well, and I think it's so cool to see, and that's what excites like Bill and I when we come, is as students come up and say, "Hey, Mr. Mrs.
Right.
Graham, how are you?" That's really great and wonderful. We hug and see how everybody's doing. But then to see other students supporting other students
Right.
en masse. I mean, it's like one or two. It's like the whole dang team is sitting there,
Yeah.
which is cool. And I think the coaches have bought into it too. Like, hey, Coach Haynes is saying, "Hey guys, when you're done lifting, we're going to go watch the basketball team."
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to go watch Coach Gant with they're in the NCAAs. Let's go. Let's pack the stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I guess you probably remember, but when the girls made the NCAAs.
Oh, that was so fun.
And we were rocking. My goal was to have that gym rocking, and it was. And it was fun, and it was electric. And I said, I want those kids to have an experience that they've never had before, or if they would be at a big school. And I think we pulled it off,
Yeah.
and it was
We
fun.
had like
I was
light-up
launching T-shirts.
glasses and T-shirt cannons.
I did. I
and-
had a giant slingshot, and I was rolling on the floor shooting shirts into and it was great.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes it so cool is that everybody's buying in, and you're seeing results from that buy-in, which is, like I said, everything's happening around campus. New baseball stadium, upgrades to beach volleyball, the smokestack, new dorms, making every dorm compliant for handicap and disabilities. So it's touching everything, which is, I mean, I don't know that, like, again, it's a unique experience here at Catawba where that many projects can be going on that benefit that many different groups.
Yeah, and we're obviously athletes, but dorms help everybody. But you get to, it just makes your campus more beautiful. I
Sure.
mean, I will say it. I don't know.
I
Tennessee,
think
they have like this gargantuan football thing that really only impacts football or athletes, but everybody gets to enjoy the smokestack. Everybody can come out and watch and all those things. So I'm just jealous I don't get to see it.
Well, you come back. Homecoming.
Yes, I'll come
You always come back. You always
Text me when it's done.
We always say you can always come home, and
always
this is
come-
home, and I think people like coming back.
Yes. Yeah.
I do. I mean, don't have to go very far, but I mean, it's always been like I'm pretty engaged in Tailgate America and that area down there. But that's fun. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's just joyous down there, and it's where, like I said, it's not 5,000 people, but it's 500 people,
Yeah.
and it's 500 people you know. You probably know 75% of the people that are there.
When I walk down there, I feel like I'm famous because everyone's like, "Oh, Lauren, how
that's
are
what
you?"
I mean.
And I'm like,
but
"Am I a
where
celebrity?"
where else can you have that experience?
Yeah.
And what a great feeling to walk in and like half of the football moms know who you are, or the soccer moms. Oh, hey, girls, how's it going?
And
I saw you.
genuinely care about how
And-
school's going
right,
and how volleyball's going.
Genuinely care, and it's a key word. It's genuine.
And it's not just it's not just asking to ask to make small talk.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
It's like they remember. Like when
They're gonna
Peyton
ask
got
about
hurt,
it. Yeah.
Haney texted me. It was a Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
He texted me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. How's Peyton? How's Peyton? How's
yeah,
Peyton?
exactly.
And he genuinely cares.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like the dad of school, you know. Wait, your car needs oil? Well, I'll go,
Oh, you want me to cook for you? All right,
yeah.
let me bring my
Wait.
trailer grill
Right.
and cook for 15
we're not-
hours.
Yeah, we're not going to get takeout from Wendy's. We're going to bring the whole grill and we're going to cook the whole cow right here.
Yes.
That's Haney. But I mean, that's what's so neat. We have unique characters, I call them, and I'm probably one of them too, that when we're, at Tailgate America, we're acting silly. I don't care what it takes for me to I'll guilt you into buying a ticket, and if I see somebody I know has $20 in their pocket, don't give me $1.
Yeah.
You give me a 20.
the whole 20.
Give me the 20. We're not making change today. So I mean, but people love that, and nobody gets offended. Nobody gets their feelings hurt, and everybody knows that it's going back. And I'm going to guilt you into, don't take the money. You need to just give it back. Give it back to Catawba. It's a good thing. You don't need that $200.
Yeah.
You know?
For people that don't know, they do raffles at Tailgate America. And
Right.
the money, they'll draw a winner and
Right.
we'll say Peyton won. Then they're going to say, okay, you can keep it or you can give it back to the athletics.
And
But
the or is key.
the or is not really or, it's you're giving it back.
Yeah, and I'll guilt you into it because I usually have the bike and I'm the one going, or Peyton.
Yeah.
What would be really nice, because you're going to have to walk through the crowd with your winnings, or you can just say, no, y'all keep it. So,
And I think they would probably boo you.
maybe. But you get really great applause if you do give it back.
Yeah.
So,
There you
yeah,
go.
I mean, it's just, like I said, I think there's so many things going on at campus, and they're all good things. It's not like, parking's been a nightmare. We get it. And we understand that. And we all, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And some of the things, students don't understand. And why would they? They don't understand city logistics and laws and right of, roadways and things like that. So they, all these things, oh my God, I don't have a parking spot. Well, yeah, you don't. And we're sorry. We're genuinely sorry.
But our campus is not that big.
It isn't that big.
Like you can really walk from one side to the other.
Right. Well, my favorite expression is Bill and I had a house that we refurbished in several years ago. It was pretty close to camp. I'm not going to name what dorm it was, but it was pretty close. I could walk from the house to onto campus, less than probably a block. I'll give it a block. And they said we didn't like living there. Well, some of the students said they didn't like living there because it was too far to walk.
Oh.
So from then on, Bill and I called it the too far to walk dorm.
Then get up on time to class.
Yeah.
And so every time we would drive past that, Bill goes, there's the too far to walk dorm, that kind of thing. So we've had fun doing that too, is refurbishing all these houses. Which we're kind of proud of that. I mean, if I had to say one thing that's a cool thing that Bill has really created, I'm just there as his wingman and support. But we try and refurbish houses. And then a lot of people don't know, but I'm going to brag on my husband a little bit. A lot, really, actually, because he's pretty great. The money that we get from rental, we don't keep.
Oh.
It goes back to Catawba.
Cool.
So we don't keep it. We don't touch it. It just recycles back to the place we love.
Yeah.
So we'll take the house and, it's like home edit,
Yeah.
we're like I have our own little show or something. We go in there and refurbish these houses that are kind of run down around campus, and we give them to the students to live in, and athletes and whoever needs to have a housing. But then the money that we charge goes back to the school.
Cool.
We doesn't go to our bank account. It just goes back to Catawba in some form or fashion, scholarships, things that cost for new volleyball courts or new nets or whatever the school needs. But there's that's what we do with it. So it's been kind of fun to see that happen too, and see the kids have nice places to live.
Yeah, absolutely.
You pay a lot of money to go here, so you need to have a nice place to live. I'm really passionate about that. So.
Well, to wrap this up, do you have any final words to give the female athletes here at Catawba in the future or now?
Gosh, just have fun, enjoy what you're doing. Be healthy, take care of yourself, take care of each other, be a team. Love your coaches. They're not doing it. I mean, they get paid well, but I mean, they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because they were you once. And I think just go for it. I mean, there's nothing you can't do. You have tons of support, so it's just a matter of you putting it all out there on the court, leaving it all out there win or lose.
Yeah.
If we don't care. I mean, sure, we love you to win. Everybody does. Everybody wants to win. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're still going to hug you after it's over. We're still going to tell you great job, and we'll get them next time. But athletics has come so far, and you girls have had so much success in what I think is such a short period of time. You have an amazing coach. My gosh. And so, I mean, with that experience and that level of expertise, take advantage of that and learn from her, not only, life experiences, but game experiences, and just be a great team together, and you guys will have a great time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming
we appreciate
and joining
y'all.
us. We talked a lot about how fun the beach games are. So we have a game at home against Wingate, rivals. We play at 1 and 3, but it's not really 1 and 3. It's really 1, 2, 3, 4. So we play at home versus Wingate on the 18th of March. And then we play again at home on the 27th. And that is senior night. So we want everybody there.
I have a big crowd. Y'all need to come.
Yes.
And then that's it. And then I graduate and I go home.
Oh, didn't we tell you can't go?
Oh, okay.
Wait, there's been a little situation.
That's fine. I don't want to drive the 30 hours home anyway.
No. Well, thank you, girls. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.